Good afternoon, everyone. We'll just wait for a few more seconds. So we could definitely have this engaging, informative webinar in starting your business. Also, as everyone's coming in, I'll definitely encourage you to introduce yourself. Do you have a business, starting a business? Do you have a business idea? This is a good opportunity for you to network amongst everyone that is present today on how we can assist you with your business needs as well. Some general housekeeping items. This is a recorded webinar. So in case if you have to step out, answer a phone call, have lunch, all participants will be receiving today's presentation and definitely encourage you to like and subscribe our YouTube channel as well. So once again, I want to thank you for attending today's webinar, Startup Start Right. My name is Jesus Padilla from the Florida SBDC at FIU under the FIU College of Business. Along, I have one of our great consultants, startup consultants, Frederick Bonneau, as he will be able to incorporate some of his best practices, some conversations he's had with clients, experiences, so you could start your business the right way as well. So a brief description of who is the Florida SBDC at FIU? What do we do? The Florida SBDC network is funded through a cooperative agreement with the U.S. Small Business Administration. The Florida SBDC network covers 9 regional centers across the entire state of Florida, in which if your business is located here in Miami-Dade, Monroe County, we are your local SBDC center. If your business is located outside of that jurisdiction, like in Orlando area, Tampa area, Falado, don't worry. We'll be more than happy to connect you with the appropriate and local small SBDC. And also, my colleague Leo, he will be in the chat, in providing some additional information, the links to assist you as well with registering for consultation, the links for our YouTube channel, and any other information that will be able to assist you to give you those tools for the toolbox for your business. With the Florida SBDC network, we focus on the 3 key pillars: the one-on-one business consulting, the startup assistance, the access to capital, the marketing, even getting information of that data market research, the information, along with trainings and workshops as such here present today. So once again, my name is Jesus Padilla. I am the manager of administrative services here at the Florida SBDC at FIU. I have been in the center for 9 years, as I have been honored as one of America's 40 under 40 colleagues here in the America's SBDC network. That's been a recognition of SBDC staff from across the national network who demonstrate innovation, leadership, and commitment to the SBDC mission. I myself, I am just like you. I have that entrepreneurial spirit. I have successful side hustles. I have a startup business. So I know the pain points. I know the good and bad and the ugly, as I have a master's in marketing and an MBA, as I'm also a 3-time alum here at FIU. I have worked with Frederick and other consultants in the startup and marketing realm by providing those innovative tips to entrepreneurs as to what it takes to be a successful business and venture. So allow me to introduce you to Frederick Bonneau, that he'll briefly introduce himself and how he can also assist you with your business needs. Frederick?
Yes, thank you, Jesus, and welcome all participants to this webinar. I've been with the SBDC network for over 20 years. I consult on pre-venture, including registering new business and license requirements. I also consult on web development and SEO analysis, and I also will guide you through the initial business plan drafting. After that, I will be referring you to the appropriate consultant to continue working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Frederick. And oftentimes, when we're working with our clients, they ask me, what is my why? Why do I enjoy doing what I do? It's easy. My why is I enjoy assisting you, the entrepreneurs, to start and successfully launch your business to create that economic opportunity, that economic impact in the community. We're going to be going over the two different learning objectives. One is have the conversation, the discussion of entrepreneurship, what it takes to become a successful entrepreneur, along with those strategies to turn this idea into a business, followed by those actionable steps and key resources to start the business the right way. There's multiple avenues how to start a business, but having those key metrics, those key resources to start the right way is the quickest journey for your destination. Yes, if you do have any questions. Yes, so I have, so if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A so that throughout the presentation, we'll be able to answer those questions. Now, I have a comment in regards to how to make the presentation bigger and the speaker smaller. That will be based on the gallery side to do the reverse. And that will be within your desktop or computer. Full disclosure, full disclaimer, our information is intended to provide you the necessary information on entrepreneurship and the steps that you may want to take to start up a business. Frederick and I, we're not accountants, we're not legal professionals, so we will not be covering all the different scenarios, circumstances. As such, no two businesses, no two industries are the same. Definitely, if there's any tax and legal issues, strongly encourage you to meet with your legal professional and accountant to go over those additional information in those key areas. So based on the show of hands, if you want to put your questions in the chat, I just have a question for you. Where are you in your business journey? Are you starting a business? You started less than a year, have a business idea? I want to get to know more about you. And if you have started, where did you start? Was it a generational business? Is it a franchise? How did you get started in your entrepreneur journey? In the time being, I started based on having a business idea, and I started to morph it when I was doing my MBA, and it's definitely given me some of the benefits and also some learning lessons along the way. Now, Frederick, with you, how did you get started in your business?
I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, and when I came to America, I basically decided to represent some of my peers, European, that will come and invest here in America, and that's how I started my consulting practice, providing an umbrella of services that will include basically the startup of that business, the investment, and the planning of my clients' successful businesses.
Perfect. Yep. So I have some that are finishing the health coach certification to start within a month or two. One has an LLC, and now how having a sole proprietorship should be different. So Frederick will talk more in depth on the chat, but also there's going to be some slides of the different types of business entities that he'll be able to elaborate a little bit more as well. What is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is defined as the activity of setting up a business or businesses taking on the financial risk in hope for profit. That's the end goal. It is entrepreneurs are risk takers. If you want to be in business and not making profit, then being an entrepreneur, having that business is not the right path, because the end goal is for hope for profit. But at the part of this presentation today is I want you to take that risk, but having a calculated risk so you can be successful. That is the end goal. Entrepreneurs have different reasons why to take this journey, take this leap of owning a small business. Some are the opportunity, the hope for profit, the independence, the different challenge. For me personally, it is the work-life balance. I wanna, my business, it's to give me that work-life balance, so I could definitely take my wife and spend time with my family on joyous vacations. So I want to ask you, why are you taking the risk? Why do you want to be your own small business? The work-life balance, opportunity, profit, independence. Definitely, I would like to hear some additional areas as well. Okay, perfect. I got one right here from the experience factor. To be independent. Yep, absolutely. Perfect. And at the same time, this is what it does. What does it take to become a successful entrepreneur? There's multiple behaviors, there's multiple attitudes, but at the same time, there's always a common core. You have to be self-directed, self-nurturing, be action-oriented, being proactive as opposed to reactive. Be highly energetic, just like everyone is a consumer. Imagine if you go to a restaurant or anywhere and the salesperson, hi, my name is Jesus. Would you like to purchase this? You have a bad experience. By being energetic, hey Frederick, how's it going? Thank you for coming to the store. How may I assist you? What are some of your pain points that I can assist you so I could fulfill that need in this business in my business? But less importantly, be tolerant of the uncertainty. Look what's happened, from the pandemic back in 2020. Folks had businesses ideas, their goals. This is what we want to establish in 2020, 2021, and onward. But if you're not tolerant of uncertainty and there is a small dip, are your existing customers will be there once everything bounces back, or what will be their behaviors? Or perhaps you might have to go to pivot to new markets as well. So are you able to adapt quickly? And now I'll give you an example. Like small businesses are, have the heartbeat of what the community, what the clients, the customers are asking. So you're able to adapt quickly. So you're able to fulfill their needs as opposed a big business. Yep. Okay. I definitely like these responses, the independence, the hope for profit, the flexibility and the creativity. Absolutely. There's other ways to learn about entrepreneurship. It could be learning from others, participating in today's webinar, collaborating. What are some of the good, bad, the ugly of that experience of being an entrepreneur, or perhaps in the industry? Get some experience, gain at least 3 years of experience in the field, then start a part-time business to start, along with taking over a successful firm. It could be the succession planning that is a family-owned business. The children or the next generation doesn't want to carry over. They might have someone to take ownership of the business. You could serve an apprentice and eventually take over once the owner steps down. Purchase an established business, even purchasing a franchise. It could be another opportunity for you to be taking over a successful firm. So the different avenues how you're able to learn about entrepreneurship, but this is the good thing is that this is one of the starting points. By connecting with our business consultants here at the Florida SBDC FIU, definitely like and subscribe our YouTube channel, but at the same time amongst our peers who are present today, so we could definitely collaborate and create that ecosystem from the start. Always have these 5 questions in mind. I know Frederick loves this example when we talk about this, the beepers. Always have in mind, if your business idea is a good opportunity, but it needs to be fulfilling the 5 key parts. Is there a market need? Is it scalable? Would it generate profit? How's that window of opportunity? And is it sustainable? So let's use the example of beepers. Is there a market need for beepers? Perhaps there is, but nowadays we don't see people having beepers. Is it scalable? Perhaps it was scalable 20, 30 years ago, but not now. But is it generating profit? Is there a reasonable price and still generate profit? Not sure. But how about that window of opportunity? Is the window growing or is it slowly diminishing for that opportunity? And how long is it sustainable? Will this business continue going? So these are the 5 key questions you should definitely ask yourself as a self-assessment before taking the next leap in, is there a market need? Is it scalable? Will it generate profit? How's that window of opportunity along with the sustainability as well? But at the same time, this is where you're able to start adapting and pivoting to new marketplaces. So once again, you don't need to create a new product or service from scratch. Some of the most successful firms did not create that product or new service. They found new strategies or innovations to those products and services in the already existing marketplace. How you're able to disrupt the everlasting marketplace. Everyone knows the traditional examples of Amazon with the traditional bookstores, Nike shoes and the athletic apparel, Walmart and retail stores. So different avenues are you able to get and dip your toes in that marketplace. Some of the benefits of having a good startup strategy is the two key points: lower cost and what is your competitive advantage. But at the same time, it's a perception. If you have the lowest cost, how is the quality of that brand? But you have to have the Goldilocks approach. Can't be too high or too low. It has to be right on the point. But at the same time, at this an existing market, you can identify those competitor weaknesses and those market opportunities. That is your competitive advantage. You could do research, you could do analysis as to what your competitor is doing, not doing, and vice versa. Oftentimes, for example, with me, people ask me, what is my competitive advantage? Even though that my shipping costs are a little bit more expensive than others, well, I provide that white glove service. I make sure that everything is neatly organized while I'm shipping my products from my location to your home. But at the same time, every year I send them a $5, $10, $15 gift card as a thank you for buying from me in the previous year. That is my competitive advantage as I'm building that relationship. I don't treat everyone as a number or as a client. I treat them as family. That is my strategy, but at the same time, it could be different from Frederick or from anyone else that's present today. So I just have a question for you. Do you have a business idea that will disrupt the marketplace? You might not even thought about that question, but don't worry. Our consultants will be able to guide you with the market research, the tools, the data that will definitely assist you to enhance this question for you of disrupting the marketplace. Frederick, with you, while you're working with your clients and you ask them this question, what are some areas that they should definitely be looking for?
They first need to assess the market and see if the idea of the product or services they're willing to they have in mind exist already or not. Even though we always think, oh, I haven't seen it, so it doesn't exist, so I'll be the only one on the market doing that product or service. Actually, it may very well be already existing. So important research is crucial in order to determine what product or services you want to operate, and you may want to tweak your idea in order to make it somewhat different than what already existing.
Thank you, Frederick. So now we're going to get started with the presentation of the 4 key walls of building a house. These are the 4 key walls of building your business the right way. We talked about the idea. So now how are we going to get this idea that we have on our head into the paper? How we're going to be able to plan along with financing, last but not least, launching the business. So the 4 key areas, perfect. This is a great question right here. How do I market research practically? And we do have some consultants that can guide you with the market research based on what you're looking for. And I'll provide some examples in the next few slides. So we talked about the idea. So now we're going to move forward toward the planning phase, financing, and launching the business. By planning the business, once again, you have to have the proper planning to lay the strong foundation. If you don't plan accordingly, you're not gonna have a good foundation. This is just like anything in life in terms of planning for a wedding. If you don't budget accordingly, you have to cut some expenses afterwards. Or planning for a trip. If you don't conduct appropriately, you might miss your flight. So by the 3 key areas or actions, it has to include understanding your market, the who's that will definitely buy from you, the secondary and the primary customers in the target market, developing that business model, and last but not least, creating a business plan. The market, it is the consumers with unsatisfied wants and needs who have both the resources, in this case, the money, and the willingness to buy from you. As an entrepreneur, you should set out to fill the market needs by offering top quality and a great service at a fair price. Once again, the Goldilocks approach. Once again, by being a small business, you have the ability to know the market and quickly adapt to the market needs. Think of it as small businesses as a small canoe trying to navigate through a canal doing three-port turn, it's a lot easier versus a cruise ship through a canal. So by fully understanding what the market is dictating, you're able to have a stronghold and a good footing in that marketplace. When I was doing my MBA, I had to select a business, and I definitely selected 7-Eleven in my market research project, and it was understanding your market. The founder, Joe Thompson, said, give the customers what they want, when, and where they want it. By 7-Eleven understanding their market in 3 different countries, they're able to have a strong presence in the United States by grabbing snacks, drinks, everyday products on the go. But look at Indonesia. It's a trending spot where young people spend time, surf the web, meet their friends. In Taiwan, service a bicycle and photocopy. Imagine if I tell my friends right now, hey guys, let's go to 7-Eleven to hang out. In the Jesus, we love you, but find yourself new friends to hang out with you. Because that does not correlate based on the United States model of understanding your market. But if I was in Indonesia, we'll definitely will be hanging out and having a great time. This is where you're able to work with existing businesses, get to know them. What's the good, the bad, and the ugly of the industry, or what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Network with peers, the industry. But at the same time, if you don't have access, don't worry. This is where we'll be able to assist you with our consultants to help out with the market research, the industry research, even the profiles of the demographics of your target market that you like to cater to as well. Some of the free databases that's available is the U.S. Census Bureau, the Federal Reserve, the Department of Labor. But then at the same time, the SBA has a really good tool for you to assist in terms of planning for your business for the market research, and definitely educate yourself in the website of the SBA Learning Dashboard. Have this as a great tool for your toolbox. This is where you start factoring and considering the information of your market, the potential demand. What's the market size? What's your competition? The economic indicators, the location and pricing. So for example, I want to open up a daycare in one location because there is no competition. There's a big demand. Perfect. But let's do more analysis. Let's do more research. Well, everyone that's living within the 10-mile radius is 55 and over plus. There's no small children. So it will be not a good ideal location for you to have a daycare. But if you decide to do it, let's, for example, do it in Doral, perhaps you might have an opportunity to, because there's a lot of young families, there's a lot of kids, but there's 5 different daycare centers within a 10-mile radius. So those are your market competitions. But how do you differentiate yourself with others? It is condensing it and having a smaller scope within a 1-mile radius as opposed to 10 miles. This is my potential demand for this market size I would like to cater to. Having the pricing. If it's too high, too low, everyone has price sensitivity. Along with the location. Is it accessible? Is it hard to find? Is there parking? So these are some items definitely you have to have into consideration while understanding your market and being successful as well. Yes, in terms of the SBA links, everyone that's present today will be receiving today's presentation, and you'll be able to copy and paste the links. By developing the business model, these are the 2 key elements that you should definitely include: the value proposition and the go-to-market strategy. The value proposition is a clear and compelling statement on what unique value your company brings to the market. What is your contribution to the party? Some questions you should ask yourself, it is, what do you offer to the customer? What needs are you satisfying? And how are you different from the competition? I know when Frederick mentioned earlier, while working with his clients, sometimes they say, I'm offering everything to the customer. I'm satisfying all their needs. I have no competition. I am the best one. Well, you can, but let's dive in more deep. Let's dissect it further so we could have that value proposition so you could stand out amongst your competitors. The go-to-market strategy is that step-by-step roadmap for getting your products and services to the customer. What is the journey like? Is is an opportunity to be consistent with your marketing strategy. And at the same time, it's defining your target market, identifying your customer, shows how you reach your customers, align the pricing model. Is it a subscriptional base? Is it annual base? Is it weekly based? Is it a free trial? How is your go-to-market strategy? And like that, you're able to have a good roadmap for your business, getting exposed to the clients that you like to cater to. This is where many entrepreneurs lose track when it comes to drafting their business idea into a business plan. So before I proceed, I just want to ask a question for everyone. Do you have a business plan already? Are you developing one? I would like to know where you're at in your business plan. So like that, we'll be able to cater with the next few slides and I'll be able to guide you through the process. No plan yet? Okay, perfect. I'm developing a business plan, okay. And now those are developing the business plan. How has that been, that experience? Is it overwhelming? Is it scary? Is it easy? Is it just let me just throw everything to the wall and see what type of spaghetti sticks to the wall? I'm not sure. Okay, perfect. Yep. My suggestion is stress and overwhelming. I don't want you to feel intimidated while developing the business plan. Let that be outside of the house. I want you to be yourself. I want you to be loose. I want you to be relaxed. Business plan doesn't have to be hard. We have consultants that can guide you because no two business plans are the same with the end goal of your vision. Where do you want to put your business in the next 3 to 5 years? We have tools, we have presentations, we have workshops, we have great consultants that can guide you. So you could have your vision so that you don't lose track. Same time, the personal business plan is for obtaining capital, for bankers, investors, business partners, but also so you have a clear roadmap for the next 3 to 5 years. This is where I strongly encourage, do not lose the idea of drafting a business plan, delay the opportunity to move forward. So let's put everything on the wall, let's put everything on paper and create that roadmap, that outline. So that we're able to start saying, okay, you know what, like if I want to cater these two markets, what can we do?
Jesus, I'd like to point out also for those who already have a business plan or are in the process of writing their business plan, it is very important to keep that business plan up to date.
Yes.
Because it has to have all the financial projections for the next 3 years, but every year it should be updated with the 4th year and the 5th year. That way you have an excellent roadmap and you are not surprised by some of the results if you do not update your business plan.
Yeah, and it was like a perfect example. We have clients that had a business plan. These are my goals for 2020 up until 2023 in 2019. And look what happened. So now you have to adapt and pivot for new markets. Their entire business model had changed. Their sales went down. So what do we have to do to have a new forecast and projections of their business? So definitely is a living, breathing document that needs to be updated continuously because things change from one day to the next. Perhaps you're banking on one great sales manager and decides to leave. So now that provides a small dip in your business goals and strategies onward. So it creates a small ripple effect. So by having that updated continuously, definitely helps you in the long term.
I'd like to answer the question from Judith regarding templates. Yes, we will be providing you with template and all the tools and in our toolbox to assist you with your business plan once you register with us, and we can assist you further.
Okay. The business model canvas, it is a one-page document, does not replace a business plan, but can assist you putting those ideas into paper. Think of it as a small outline. It has a key components of what a business plan entails. Doesn't replace it, but it definitely helps you to start connecting the dots, the value proposition. That has been the key word throughout today's presentation. The customer segments, the primary and secondary customers, the channels of distribution, those key resources. Who are the key partners of your business? No one knows this better than you do. So definitely encourage you to do this on your own and like that, working with a consultant. Like that will be able to create the branching of the business plan and also connecting those dots as well. Once again, with the business plan, it is tailoring to that specific audience. You could have one for your business operations, one for potential partners and investors and lenders. Your plan will have similar elements to a Fortune 500 company, but it doesn't have to be as complex. The executive summary is catching the reader's interest to draw the potential partners, bankers, investors to read on what is the elevator pitch. You know how it is reading a book. Instead of reading 500 pages, if the first 5 pages or the first paragraph, it catches my attention, gets me hooked, I'll be reading 500 pages without even having a second thought. On the third step, we'll be talking about financing. Before your business launches, your website opens the door, you have bills to pay. So you need to start calculating the startup expenses. This depends greatly if it's brick and mortar, a service, or online. And depending on those type of categories, start having those key expenses that you anticipate having while launching a business. It could be the insurance, it could be the inventory, the equipment, the licensing, the office space. And that's what Frederick was saying. Estimate how much of these expenses will cost, breaking them as one-time or monthly expenses, the fixed and variable expenses. And you should calculate at least 1 year of monthly expenses. But if you have 3 to 5 years, it's even better because it correlates with your business strategy goals for the next 3 to 5 years. So don't leave one area hanging. Brick and mortar, it is a physical location. And here are some good websites from the SBA that has a fillable spreadsheet where you could use as a template. So you can start putting your startup expenses, so start getting those startup costs as a worksheet in your business plan. Now, you have already calculated your startup expenses. You already know how much capital you need. How are you going to get those funds? That is the million-dollar question. For most businesses, bootstrapping is the best way to fund and retain ownership and control the direction of the business. If you have investors or key partners, then you will have to have those their ideas and thoughts in consideration because they own a piece of the business. However, this method assumes all risks. It impacts your personal finances, retirement, if you're not careful. That's why from the start of the presentation, I want you to take the risk, but I want you to have that calculated risk for your venture. There's different sources of capital. There's family, friends, and fools, mission-based lenders, government agencies, as such the SBA, banks, finance companies, CDFIs, crowdfunding, angel investors, and venture capitalists. Once again, no two businesses are the same. No two industries are the same. Every entrepreneur is different. It could be credit score, it could be collateral, what are the conditions of the loans. So by working with Frederick and our other consultants at our center, we'll be able to guide you with appropriate steps for those financing options, along with those introductions to those lenders that will be able to introduce you, give you information. So once you hit particular metrics, if you don't qualify yet, at least you have those thresholds ready to go. So once you hit those goals, you definitely have the seat at their table to have that conversation to obtain those financing opportunities. Last but not least, that we have the idea. Now we started to plan it. Now we're financing. Now we're launching the business. What do we need to do? This is the final step to incorporate and launch your business. The 4 business entities. It's a sole proprietor. It's a one-person operation. Partnership is 2 or more people legally agree to become co-owners of the business. The corporation is a legal entity with authority to act and have liability apart from its owners. One of the common ones is the LLC, which offers protection from the owner from personal liability from any of the debts the business incurs. So it's 2 separate items. And I'll allow Frederick to go more in depth of the 4 business forms.
Yes,
Frederick?
thank you. I'd like to answer the question from Liliana Patron, who originally wrote, I had an LLC, but found it too expensive to maintain. How would having a sole proprietorship be different? Well, the sole proprietorship is basically being considered self-employed. It's a great way of starting a business if you have very limited funding and you have no liability involved because you're not dealing with merchandise or you're not dealing with a service that can create liability. So, for example, if you're a writer, if you're an artist, there's not much liability involved. However, as soon as you deal with other people, or people coming to your store, if you open a gallery for your art, then there's a high level of liability. And this is the reason why we recommend that you basically convert that sole proprietorship into an LLC or incorporate the business, because as a corporation or as an LLC, the liability is only to the extent of the assets of the corporation. So you cannot be sued directly on your personal assets if you're covered by a corporation. So this is the reason why we highly recommend to incorporate a business or create an LLC. Also, if you want to obtain funding and raise capital, banks are not going to lend for a sole proprietorship. That will be considered a personal loan, which is not necessarily easy to obtain. So I will be guiding our new clients, the participants of this workshop when they register, to basically help them select and see all the pros and cons of the sole proprietorship, partnership, limited liability, and corporation. And within those entities, you have sub-entities. For example, a corporation should become what we call a subchapter S corporation. That's to avoid the double taxation between your personal earnings and the earning of the corporation. Then you have what you call different level of corporation. You can have a PA if you are a professional, like an accountant. That would be more, or an attorney, you would be considered a PA, and that's a different type of corporation also in itself to register. So in addition to selecting the entity, I will be guiding you after that to obtain your EIN, which is basically your the social security number for the business. As a sole proprietorship, you do not need an EIN because you will be using your own social security for that purpose and filing what you call a Schedule C for your taxes. So there will be a lot of assistance in that regard to help you guide you what will be the best entity for you. But ultimately, you will have to ask your lawyer or your CPA, because we cannot really make the decision for you. As for the participants that have already a corporation or an LLC, I will be reviewing in great detail the status of their corporation or LLC to make sure it meets all the requirements and it's up to date with all the license requirements as well as corporate documents and so forth. Any question, please do not hesitate to put them in the chat.
Thank you, Frederick. Now, can you have Google presence as a sole proprietor?
I'm sorry, Jesus.
Can you have a Google presence as a sole proprietor?
I don't understand the question in terms of Google. What does
Google presence.
you can have a Google presence whether you're a business or not a business, but I mean you're talking about having an e-commerce and or having a current address on Google, whether you're a sole proprietorship or you are in business or you're not in business. The answer is yes, except that if you don't have a brick and mortar, you will be listing your personal address, which is not really recommended.
Yep. Yep. So depending on your product and service or industry, certain business structures have an advantage, disadvantage. So some factors to consider includes your personal liability, the taxes being paid, paperwork required to file with government. So definitely encourage you to meet with your attorney, accountant for guidance, considerations for your venture. So, and okay,
Uh,
beforehand,
yes,
yeah, go ahead, Frederick.
Let me answer very quickly the question that Edgar had raised regarding register agent. Yes, you do need a register agent for a corporation or for an LLC. And a register agent can be yourself as long as you're a resident of the state of Florida. If you're not a resident of the state of Florida, then you need to hire a register agent who could be very well your accountant or your lawyer to become your register agent. But yes, it is mandated that all businesses have to have a registered agent, and that is only to receive due process of a lawsuit. And any documents that are sent to the corporation, whether it's from the Secretary of State or from county courts, that will definitely go to the registered agent. That is a reason why, if you decide to do business in another state, you will have to have also a registered agent in that particular state. So if you're coming from another state, for example, coming to Florida, and you have a corporation in the state of New York, you are going to have to get your corporation in New York, which will be considered a foreign corporation entity, and that foreign corporation will have to get the authorization from the state of Florida to conduct business in the state of Florida, and therefore you will need a registered agent in the state of Florida also.
And then how can you make your business attractive to receive business loans from starting up? That is where we have consultants that will be able to guide you to make sure your credit score is up. If you have any collateral, if you have a business plan or you don't, because no two, like no two lenders are the same, no two businesses are the same. So every lender has different requirements and guidelines for to pretty much lend money for you. So by working with our consultants, we'll be able to guide you with the best strategy roadmap for you to get capital.
Uh, Alexandra had a quick question regarding register agent. A register agent is only required once you have an actual place of business. So to answer your question, it is not required to have a register agent if you're selling your products to another state. But the day that you open a warehouse in that other state, yes, you're going to need a register agent in that state. So doing e-commerce online, working from Miami, and your company is registered in the state of Florida, you do not need a register agent in every single state that you conduct business with.
Yeah. And then Frederick, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but then if you're doing business with a particular state that requires sales tax on that side, that's something to touch base with an accountant, correct?
That is correct. The center, we do not provide any tax advice, and every state, of course, is particular and different. So we urge you to ask your CPA about it.
And then last but not least, before we proceed, is there a telephone number in case you have any questions? Yes. In the chat, it'll have our office number, also the link to register to meet with our business consultants, also with our email address. So in case if there's any particular questions you might have, don't hesitate. We're family, and we'll be more happy to guide you with those steps that you might have. One of the biggest one of the biggest areas that we strongly encourage you to do is first search if your business name is available on some biz. This website has startup resources, legal forms, state regulations, information to create a fictitious name where applicable. Because oftentimes we've had clients, and Frederick has worked with some in terms of the e-commerce realm. Is, hey Frederick, can you help me build my website because I want to start my business selling apples, like the fruits or bananas. So, and they go with Jesus Bananas, and they realize that the domain is perfect, but then on some biz, that name is already taken by another business. So always do due diligence, do the research first to make sure that it's unique. and it's not one that is similar to a business name that's already being used, because you don't want to be associated. It's about perception, it's about marketing. What is the business ethics? What are the business practice of that similar name? You don't want to be associated. So definitely have a name that is unique, that's available, so that you're able to have a website for your business, but also the site extensions as well. If you decide to go in the realm of government contracting, have a commercial with a private business as well. Frederick, do you have any other comments, suggestions before we proceed?
Well, the search for a name is relatively important because you want to get a name that is kind of general, because if you decide to do a business, let's say you are in the landscape business, okay, and you call it XYZ Landscaping, and if tomorrow you realize the landscape business is not what you wanted to do, but you want to open a restaurant, then of course you won't be able to use that same name because it's not associated with the type of business you're doing. So you will be better off almost creating a company called ABC Inc., and then create what you call DBAs, doing business as ABC Landscaping, ABC whatever restaurant, in a way. So you can basically create a holding out of that company and be able to conduct business at any level. That's the reason why when you fill out the article of incorporation or article of organization, when where it states the type of business, you don't want to be explicit. You want to be basically put as remark any and all legal, lawful business, which means that you can do anything you want to do as long as it's legal. That way, you don't restrict yourself in terms of the business activity you want to do. But on the other hand, if let's say you're a dentist and you want to create a corporation, then you can call it, XYZ Dentistry, because this is going to be your lifelong business, basically. So there's no need of going broad, and you can be having everything named in that name.
At the same time, once you register your name in the state of Florida, also definitely the next step is the EIN. The EIN helps you register your business entity, obtain the business loans, open business bank accounts, also needed for tax filing and reporting purposes. So think of the EIN as the social security number that one has, but the social security for the business as well.
On the EIN portion, I will recommend our participant, the one that have not yet incorporated their business, to hold on to the EIN, not to apply for the EIN right away at the same time you apply for registering your corporation. And the reason why is because there are two separate entities. You have the Secretary of State, which is to register the business, and you have the IRS, which is basically Uncle Sam, with the EIN, and they do not communicate. Therefore, you could get an EIN, obtain that EIN number, but then on the other hand, the Secretary of State is denying you that name for that corporation, and then you'll have to start all over again because you got an EIN with the wrong name on it.
Yeah, at the same time, once you have the EIN, then also look up for the business tax receipt, the licensing and permits that's needed for the county, but also the municipality that you're doing business under. Is there any other permits that is needed, Frederick?
Well, there's plenty of other permits needed depending on the type of business you will be conducting. First of all, you will need to make sure with the state of Florida that you comply with the state of Florida business regulations. So there are certain businesses that require business regulation. Like I think we had a participant earlier that she's a beautician, or I don't recall exactly, but her type of business may require a state license. So, for example, if you're a CPA, you need a state license. You're a lawyer, you need a state license. You're a beautician, you may need need a state license, so we will provide you the link to the state of Florida business regulation to double check if you fall under the category need a state license. Then in addition to that, you will need probably a Florida sales and use tax ID number, because if you buy merchandise, you may not, for resale, then you may not want to have to pay those sales tax. That's why it's called a use tax, and it's also called a sales tax, because you have to collect sales tax upon the sale of the product that you carry. Then we have additional requirements, which is coming to light now, which is also going to be the Corporate Transparency Act, and we'll talk into more detail at the time you register your business.
And then, Frederick, can a sole proprietor open up a business account?
As a sole proprietorship, you can open a business account with a bank, but again, they will be using your social security to open it, not your EIN. Now, the sole proprietorship, all it is doing business for yourself under a different name than your personal name. And that is basically a fictitious name that you will be applying for. So also a corporation, remember when I said you can have a broad name and let's say have division of that corporation, any business that you do business under needs to be registered as a legal name, and that is called a fictitious name application that you will apply for once you register your sole proprietorship or once you create DBA, doing business as, for a corporation or an LLC.
If I'm doing e-commerce and selling clothes, what kind of permits do I need?
None, except for sales, except for the sales and use tax. If you have to collect sales and use tax in places where you're selling.
Okay. And then for this question, it is going to be more a tax question, and you could in the chat, I'm going to put my email address, and like that I'll be able to introduce you our referrals of tax planning and accountants in regards of when doing taxes, can a loss be reported and how to do so, what recommendations do you have for tax breaks, ideas into file correctly. That is going to be a tax and accountant question. So if you send me an email, I'll be more happy to connect you with our tax referral list that we have available. And then for travel agencies or travel businesses online, is it necessary of some kind of license or permit?
Travel agency, again, probably will fall under the state requirement and regulations. So I will urge you to contact the state of Florida to see if your business fall under that category.
Okay. And then lastly, the Florida SBDC Network has a 6-part webinar series. These short videos provide a fundamental overview of what it takes to start a business. So definitely knowledge is power. So there's multiple opportunities on how the Florida SBDC Network can guide you with your business needs and venture. Also, definitely one of our biggest homeworks, it is definitely encourage you to like and subscribe our YouTube channel. That is where we have recorded webinars on startup assistance, marketing, government contracting, access to capital, as additional tools for your toolbox to enhance those conversations with our business consultants. Some of the key resources, key links from today's webinar has been business planning, how to start a business here in the state of Florida, the SBA business launch guides, along with what are some of the items that is needed here in Miami-Dade County and the state of Florida business regulations. So this is one of the best tool for your toolbox for you to have everything up and running, good to go. But since I'm a generous person, one of my New Year's resolution is give more. I'm giving you the secret sauce of the 13 steps to make your business legit. So definitely with Frederick and our business consultants, we go bullet by bullet to make sure that everything is in good standing and good to go. Do you have a business name? Yes or no? Well, let's find one. Choose a business address. Is it going to be an enhanced PO box? Is it going to be your home address? Is it going to be the brick and mortar location of that business? What is a business entity? Is it an LLC, a partnership, sole proprietor, so forth? Then we'll guide you with the registration of your business, what licensing and permits that you need, along with the EIN number. Followed by the financial side, opening a business bank account, getting a business credit card, or a micro loan from one of our introductions with our CDFIs and micro lenders, creating that, establishing the business credit from the Duns and Bradstreet, understanding your financial books. You're already incurring expenses of those salaries, those permits, the equipment. So by having a good understanding of your financial books, like that, you're able to have a good cash flow and understanding of your balance sheet, your financial statements, and then creating the website, which Frederick will be able to guide you with the process, getting the business phone number, but then at the same time registering your business with online services as well. So this is the 13 steps, the secret sauce to make your business legit, along with starting your business the right way. So this is the homework for you, but definitely one key area is definitely encourage you to, if you have any questions or concerns, definitely register to meet with our business consultants, as we're more than happy to guide you with your business journey. So before I open the floor for any questions, concerns, definitely connect with us. Visit our social media channel, and through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, as we have a plethora of workshops that we have, but also how can we help you with your business needs? Here's our website, our email, and our telephone number. And before I open the floor once again, I want to thank you, Frederick. I want to thank Lorna and Leo for working behind the scenes, but I want to thank you all that participated in today's webinar, for your interest to start your business. If you're interested to meet with our consultants, the link is in the chat, but also you could scan the QR code and we'll be more happy to guide you with your business. So if there's any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you right now.
You're welcome, Jesus. I just wanted to point out to our attendees that I will first register with the center in order to receive all the assistance needed before considering registering your business. Because once you register your business, and if you do make some mistake completing certain forms, it is going to be very hard for you after to make basically amendments and corrections to those articles. So that's the reason why we're here, to make sure that everything is in order, so you don't get rejected by the Secretary of State at time of application. Thank you.
Okay, yes, and I did receive one question on my end. Yes, all of our services confidential and no cost to you. So it's a good opportunity for you to meet with our team, to to create that roadmap based on what you're looking for with your business. Okay, perfect. So, okay, correct, yes, are these services available no matter how small the business is currently? Correct, yes. So we have clients that have a business idea, we're able to guide them with the tools that is needed, along with businesses who started 2 years, and those have been in business for many years that they need to take their business to the next phase, the next growth of their business. So we have clients from all different spectrum. Definitely there's certain business industries that we cannot work with, being outside the scope of our services, but it's a case-by-case study based on what type of industries. So definitely, I don't want no one to leave empty-handed. So definitely reach out to us and we'll be more happy to guide you with the next steps. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Judith, Amanda, Erdine. Thank you. So, so if there's any additional questions, okay, perfect. If you're in Broward, that's not a problem. The link will direct you to the Broward, our colleagues over at the Florida SBDC at FAU. And once you register, shoot me an email, and like that, I'll be able to do that virtual introduction to our colleagues over at the Florida SBDC at FAU. So that's not a problem. Okay, let me see if there's any additional questions. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so once again, thank you all, and have a Okay, in terms of sessions of the Corporate Transparency Act, yes, Frederick will be able to guide you with some information that he's been receiving as he is one of our startup consultants. So my recommendation is register, and he'll be able to guide you with that aspect.
I want to bring out to the attention of KP, who has that question regarding the Transparency Act. This is very new to everybody, including us. We are receiving information daily as to changes and as to the requirements. So we will be glad to pass that along to you as soon as we know more and be confident of how to go about it.
So thank you, everyone, and definitely look forward to seeing you at the next webinars. And perfect, you're welcome. And have a good afternoon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.